Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Better Than Yesterday podcast. I'm your host, Jenna Cosentino. Today, we're diving into something that will literally change your life from the inside out, and that is your routine. Because the truth is, your routine is your results, not your motivation, not your good intentions, not your I'll start on Monday. What you do daily is shaping who you are becoming, whether you're aware of it or not. Today, we're going to break down why routines matter, how to build ones that align with your goals, and how small choices can create massive identity shifts. This episode is important. Like, if you are stepping into a new era or you want to be a new person, you want to upgrade your habits, you're feeling stuck, you want structure, this is the episode that is going to help you get there and help you build the framework for that. So let's be real for a second. Motivation it's great. It's something to get you started, but it does not keep you going. You will lose motivation so fast. And it's hard when you lose that motivation to keep going. And that's where routines and discipline come into play. It catches you when your motivation drops, and it's what keeps you in alignment and going when you don't feel like it. Usually that when your motivation fades and you just continue to do your routines and practice discipline, then I think your motivation starts to come back a little bit and you kind of get back into the groove of things. Your routine builds momentum, confidence, stability, and it's basically like a safety net. Like, you can always rely, if you have good routines, you can always rely on falling back on those routines when you feel stuck or when life feels a little chaotic. A lot of people think routines are restrictive, but they actually free you because you're not spending all day deciding what to do. Like, you wake up in the morning, you kind of have a plan of how you're going to tackle the day, and that helps set you up for success so much better and helps you achieve more throughout the day than waking up whenever you want and then rushing to get ready for work, and then you just feel chaotic if you don't have like kind of like a set schedule. And not like that you have to be on a strict every hour I have to be doing this because this is what I set my day to be, you know what I mean? Like, you can have a little leeway, but a little guidance and a little structure is not going to kill you, and it's really just going to help you become better and become the person that you want to become. Your goals, they don't magically happen. It's the systems that create them. So, like, let's think about where you want to be in 6 months. Now, this is what I like to do. Like, figure out, like I said, where do I want to be in 6 months, and then kind of backtrack and look at your current routine and see how that supports you and your goals. And if it does not, then you reassess and then you start building the habits and the routines that will help you become your future self in that 6-month period, year period, whatever that looks like. So you want to set these routines up and these habits to set yourself up for success and to become that person that you want to be. So here's something that changed everything for me. You don't build habits because you're motivated. You build habits because they align with who you believe you are. And these are identity-based habits. Instead of thinking like, I need to work out, it becomes, I'm the type of person who moves their body daily. Another example is, instead of I need to stop snoozing my alarm, it becomes, I'm the type of person who gets up when the alarm goes off. Instead of I need to eat healthier, it becomes, I'm the type of person who fuels their body with intention. Those small word shifts are going to help you change your identity to somebody who doesn't snooze their alarm, to somebody who does eat healthy and stuff like that. Like I said in the previous episode with the law of attraction and your thoughts become your reality, if you say, I'm not a runner, or I always snooze my alarm, you're going to continue to, one, not be a runner, two, continue to snooze your alarm. You have to change the way that you speak to yourself and the way that you speak in general, if that makes sense. So when your identity shifts, your habits follow. So you have to ask yourself, who is the future version of me? How does she act? How does she make decisions? What are her non-negotiables? And you start building those routines and habits. And like I've said before, glow up or your identity shift, whatever, isn't about changing everything at once. It's about becoming the type of person who does the things that build the life that you want. You want to start changing areas that you are not happy with and what you want your life to look like. So if I want to become a Pilates princess, but I'm going to the gym and like strength training, that's probably not going to be my identity, or that's not going to put me in alignment with becoming a Pilates princess. You know what I mean? That is just a silly example, but if I want to do that, I'm going to need to start taking Pilates classes and going to Pilates regularly and switching that. Next is there's two routines that are the most important routines, and some people say your morning routine is more important than your night routine, but in reality, your night routine sets you up for success for your morning routine. So let's dabble into morning routines which set the tone for the day. This is the fuel to so much momentum that will kickstart your day. It sets the tone for the entire day. Like, how many times have you, I'm going to give you two examples. How many times have you woken up, did your morning routine, whatever you told yourself you were going to do that night, whether that's get up, have a coffee, journal a little, and then go work out or go for a walk or do something productive and then come home, get ready for work. So let's say you do that, and then the next day you say you're going to do that, but you wake up, I'm going to backtrack. You snooze your alarm 10 million times, and then you get up all frazzled because you don't have time to go to work out, or you don't have time to journal, work out, whatever. So you're just immediately getting up and then kind of getting thrown into the chaos of the day. You have to get ready for work. You're going to be late. You got to be there in 40 minutes. Compare those 2 days and what day would you prefer to have? You know what I mean? And I'm guessing it's going to be the first day. It's going to be the day that you've already accomplished so much before a lot of people even get up in the morning. But it just sets the tone for the day, and you achieve a lot more during the day, throughout the day. Your morning routine really just needs to be aligned with what you want. It doesn't have to look like this person. It doesn't have to look like this person's. Like, it is fully customizable to you and your goals and what you want out of it. For example, so waking up at a consistent time, like, that is so important to kind of get yourself on that set schedule of I wake up at this time every morning. This is another thing that like I need to work on, and it's not being on your phone for the first 30 minutes. So like my phone is in sleep mode when I go to sleep, obviously, but when my alarms go off, I like turn it off. But I started turning it off, like all of my alarms, but like turning my do not disturb on. So I'm not that I'm getting texts at 4 a.m., but like sometimes like a podcast will come up that was just launched and my phone will ding, or I'll get these stupid emails and my phone will ding, and then that makes me get distracted and look at my phone, and then I go on Instagram and then I go on TikTok, and it's like not good. It keeps me distracted from being present in my morning routine and being present with my thoughts. Another thing is hydration, and that's drinking a glass of water as soon as you wake up. It gets your brain moving and alert, and it just kind of it wakes you up. So like if you have trouble waking up in the morning, put a glass of water by your bed, and when your alarm goes off, drink some, and it will help wake you up and get you going. Next is going for a walk. Like, you don't have to go for a crazy workout first thing in the morning. You can go for a walk, whether that's just taking your dog around the block for a second. It's getting some sunlight as soon as you get up in the morning, which that's difficult during the week. If you have to be to work early or you wake up before the sun, that can be a little difficult, but that is just an example. One thing I also love to do is journaling and your gratitude in the morning. That sets the tone for the day. I know I said that in the last episode with how much journaling, like how important it is in the morning, and especially in my morning routine, because it keeps all the thoughts that I've had like throughout the night or that I've been thinking about I can work it out, write it on paper, and just kind of get it out of my head, and it clears my mind, which is awesome. We love that. We love that. So when I started waking up earlier, especially my 4 a.m., it really shifted my whole day, my whole identity, basically. Not that I want to wake up at 4 a.m. I don't want to be getting up and then having to like immediately get ready to go work out or immediately go to work. Like, I don't want to do that. I like to have my coffee. I am a coffee snob, and my mornings are just for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's the time where I can spend for myself. I can sit in silence and just be with my thoughts. And my morning cup of coffee is the most cherished thing in my life. Sorry to everyone in my life who I do love so much, but my morning cup of coffee is just insane. I don't need to get deep into that, but it brings me so much joy. I know that's very stupid, but it just does. It is like a ginormous hug immediately in the morning, and it's my favorite. It's not me thinking I'm better than everybody else. It just makes me feel disciplined, and it makes me feel like I'm setting myself up for a successful day. When I say I'm going to get up in the morning, and I do, keep that promise to myself, which builds confidence. And it just goes to show that I'm showing up for myself every day and I'm not putting myself to the back burner, which is really, really important. Being selfish, like I said in one of the episodes, that your mornings are for you, and it's okay and it's important to have that time for yourself before you have to make time for others. So next is your night routine, and this is something that I also have to work on. I have like a good basis of what my night routine looks like, and that's I like to take a shower before I like get ready for bed. It's time to relax, calm down, like get ready for bed. It's time to wind down. It's time to be chill. I like to close the kitchen down. I run that dang dishwasher every single day. I like a clean kitchen. I like a clean house. Like, I have to fold the blankets. I have to put Benson's toys in his little bin. Like, I have things that I need to do because when I wake up in the morning, I want to wake up to a nice, clean, peaceful house. So I do that. I close the kitchen. I throw a load of laundry in if I need to. I pick up around the house. I don't like clutter. And like I tell my mom, a clean house is a happy house. And that's a fact. And then sometimes I either read, or I know you're not supposed to scroll on your phone, but sometimes I do that. And then I drink my greens. I do that, and then I go brush my teeth, and then I crawl into bed. And that is kind of my morning, or that is kind of my night routine. I would like to start incorporating nighttime journaling and affirmations and gratitude to kind of talk about my day and be grateful for the things that have happened to me that day and all that stuff, because that is very important. So like I said, your night routine is what prepares you for the morning. It's the foundation that gets you ready and successful for a strong wake up. And a lot of people skip this, and a lot of people don't understand the importance of a night routine, but it's truly one of the easiest ways that's going to make your life smoother. And like I said before, with what my night routine looks like, it's tidying up your space. You can lay out your clothes for work or for the gym, so you don't have to think about that in the morning. Get your bags packed, pack your lunch. I really need to start packing my lunch the night before, and like I usually don't eat breakfast until I get to work, just because like I'm like running out the door like a crazy person when it's time to go to work. So like not having to worry about packing my lunch and stuff in the morning would honestly make my morning a lot less stressful. So maybe I need to start doing that. And then, like I said, skincare, shower, winding down, getting off your phone, reading a book, journaling, affirmations, yada, yada, yada. You can pose it as more of like, this is like a little self-care routine than having a strict, like, this is my strict nighttime routine. Romanticize it and enjoy it. Like, that you don't have a time limit like maybe you will in your morning routine. And it's just something that should be soothing and calming. Like, light a candle, like do something that kind of puts you in that like zen of nighttime and like, this is the time for myself. And that might be difficult when you have like a partner or you have kids or anything like that. That can get a little chaotic, but kind of tweaking that, like I said, for what your life looks like. And something that I touched on in the beginning about motivation and how motivation fades, but habits and discipline is what keeps everything in check. So take a sip of water. Discipline is my absolute favorite, and it's probably the most important thing aside from your habits and your routines that will literally change your life. Motivation is kind of what sparks your interest in, oh, I want to change this, I want to change this, or I want to do this. But discipline is kind of what keeps the fire lit under your ass to keep it moving. And discipline doesn't mean pushing yourself to burnout. Yes, you need to use discipline when you are getting in your head and you're just being lazy. But if you are just constantly running 5 million miles an hour doing X, Y, and Z and like accomplishing a lot, you don't have to push discipline that hard that is going to make you burn out and like just resent the things that you want to achieve. And you also, something that I've had to work on is, yes, you can be disciplined, but you also need to enjoy your life and you need to have fun. And that is something that I've really had to work on because I was always so hard on, I still am so hard on myself, but always so hard on myself and like being so down and beating myself up if I like go out with my friends and like I'm hungover the next day or I don't stick to my word. I get so upset with myself and I get mad because I'm like, why did I do that? Because I should be working on this goal. I should be doing this. Like sometimes you need to let your hair down and you have to learn that that's okay. And that's something that I've had to really, really focus on and practice because I wasn't enjoying life. Like I mean, I was enjoying it, but I wasn't enjoying it as much as I should have been. Now that I've like since I moved to Wilmington, like I've gotten a lot better and I've been a lot more lax in certain situations and kind of letting my hair down a little bit and not being so strict and like by the book and like just enjoying life and having fun, but still accomplishing things that I want to accomplish. And yes, using discipline as a tool to kind of push me when I'm feeling lazy or when I don't feel like doing something. It's like that's when I work that discipline muscle to push me and be like, all right, Jenna, like stop having a pity party, get off your ass and just go do it. Because once you do it, it's done. You know what I mean? So discipline is just creating systems that work when you don't feel like it. You don't have to push your discipline crazy. It could just be lowering the barrier a little bit of, okay, you don't feel like going to work out, but at least try and get 10 minutes, 15 minutes. At least do something to still practice and stretch that discipline muscle. You know what I mean? You're going to be much happier and proud of yourself if you do it a little bit. You're not going to regret it. You're not giving up completely, but you're still stretching and pushing yourself because maybe you go on that 10-minute walk and you're like, I could go another 20. And then look, you already hit 30 minutes. Just pushing yourself a little harder and using that discipline muscle to push you to keep you on track is what's going to keep you consistent. It's not perfect, but it's something that's keeping you consistent. And consistency is the key to achieving anything. When you keep showing up in small ways, you build the trust with yourself and you build that confidence. And that's where true transformation comes from. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to look aesthetic, or it's not always just going to be something that aligns just right. One thing that I want to make clear is that your routine, like I said, needs to match your life. It needs to be aligned with what you want to achieve. It's not going to look like someone you see on the internet. It's not going to look like your roommates. It's not going to look like your friends or your coworkers. It's what needs to match your life because that's what's going to make obviously the most sense, and that's what's going to make you in alignment with your goals. If you have to go to work early, your routine may look different. If you have a busy schedule, simplify it a little bit, kind of tailor it to that day. It can be very overwhelming, but you really just need to focus on little changes and building that momentum to changing parts of your routine and like implementing different things in your routine. The goal isn't to have this perfect routine that is just by the book every single day. Like, you're going to have to adjust a little bit, but just still having that guidance and baseline of what your routine looks like, and having that guidance is something that's just going to keep you on track with certain goals. A great book on habits and routines and like how you should build that and how you should like get rid of negative habits is Atomic Habits. That really explains kind of habit stacking and how like the process works, and like how you start incorporating something and then weaning something out. I would definitely read that book, or like if you're not a book reader, listen to the audiobook, and or just like Google Atomic Habits, like habit stacking, and I'm sure you'll get an article about what it is and like how to explain it. And basically habit stacking is like you already have a routine. So like, let's build your routine, and then once you get in the groove of that, then you can start adding something onto that. So that is how you basically habit stack. So like in the morning, I make a cup of coffee and I get into the routine of that. And then once that becomes a routine, then I start implementing journaling. And then I start doing, okay, every morning I do my coffee and my journaling. And then when that becomes a habit and routine, then I add something else. Like, okay, I'm going to get my morning coffee, I'm going to journal, and then I'm going to take my ass for a walk. And then once that becomes into routine and habit, you just keep adding on to that until it builds a routine that you love. Once you have established like those habits, that's what's going to make the routine kind of just effortless and something that is just like, what is the word I'm trying to say? It just keeps it like not automatic, but like basically, yeah, in the morning. You don't have to think about it. It just happens, you know? I don't know what that word is, so I apologize, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to leave you guys with this because I could ramble on about routines and habits for hours, and we're not going to do that. I want to leave this with you guys. Your routine reflects your standards. It shows what you're willing to prioritize, and it shows what you believe about yourself. It builds that confidence. It helps you stick to your word. You deserve to show up as the version of you you're becoming, not the version that you're leaving behind. We don't want to keep implementing bad habits that are just going to keep us stuck, not be in alignment with who we want to become. And you don't have to change habits all at once. You can choose one habit today and start working on that. And once that habit becomes routine, then you can start implementing another one. You don't want to overwhelm yourself because that's what is going to get you to burn out, and you're just going to lose momentum, and we don't want that. So that is it for today's episode, and thank you guys so much for listening. Please share on social and like tag me in it so I can repost. I really truly love to see that you guys are listening to the pod and listening to me yap. I've gotten a lot more comfortable sitting here and talking to a microphone and now camera. I used to be kind of embarrassed about it, but it is what it is at this point. I enjoy it. I'm silly, and I just have to laugh at myself sometimes, and it's not that serious. We are now on YouTube. I got that all set up, so now you can watch my face yap if you prefer, which is kind of weird. Oh, it's not weird, and follow us on Instagram at Better Than Yesterday with JC, and on TikTok, Better Than Yesterday JC. Join the community. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'll see you guys in the next episode, and remember, we are all just trying to become a little better than we were yesterday. Bada bang. Benny, you want to say hi? You want to say hi to the podcast? Come here. Come here, handsome. Benny. He's being a little shy. You got your dragon. You want to say hi? Nah, he said, Mom, shut up. All right, signing off.